So then Randy ends up getting a phone call, and that phone call is letting everybody know that the principal's body has been found, and it was like strung up on like the field goal post or something.
Yep. On the goalposts.
Let's go cut him down!
And they get way too excited about this. They're just like,
Oh my God.
fuck yeah! Drinking and driving, let's hop in our cars, and they go flying down the road.
Welcome to the Opening Kill podcast.
Before we begin, a quick warning. Opening Kill is a horror podcast that contains adult language, disturbing themes, and graphic descriptions of violent acts, especially the kills featured in each film. We also dive deep into plot details and character arcs. So if you haven't seen the movie we're covering, expect full spoilers ahead. Listener discretion is strongly advised.
Opening Kill, the horror podcast that slices deep into the genre we love. We're talking slashers, supernatural nightmares, creature features, and everything in between. Every episode, we break down a different horror film. From its killer cold open to its blood-soaked finale, we track the body count, analyze the scares, and give credit where it's gruesomely due. From iconic franchises to hidden gems, you'll find them all here. Hosted by filmmaker and horror scholar Brian O'Connor and Michael Duran, lifelong genre fan and scream scene specialist. So sharpen your knives, turn off the lights, and let's get into it. This is Opening Kill.
And welcome to episode 52 of Opening Kill, the Scream episode. I'm Brian O'Connor.
And I am Michael Duran, joining you as well. And we have a very special guest returning to the podcast, one of the best horror author, podcaster, horror extraordinaire, Stephanie Rose.
Like Nev Campbell coming back for the Scream around. I'm back, baby.
It's going to be a fun one, you can tell. We're all vibing.
This is going to be nuts. This is Michael's franchise, so he's been giddy for the last several weeks leading up to today.
I know. I'm like, finally, we're going to talk about real cinema.
Finally, real cinema. Fuck the other stuff, man.
Yeah,
Just
doesn't even
with how
count.
heavy the week has been, it's been just so happy. I've been having this on my calendar. I'm like, oh, I'm so excited for this. It really is like getting together with some old friends and hanging out.
Well, we've been trying to get you back for a while, and you're just like, no, I'm too big for this podcast now, so I can't do it.
Michael, do you smell that?
Is it bullshit?
Smells like shit to me because I've only been invited back to this one. I would even come on here and discuss a movie I didn't like. I would watch any movie and discuss it with you guys.
Hell yeah, that's what we want to hear.
Mm-hmm.
We want to hear.
Well, good, because we're gonna talk about one that I absolutely hate this week. So this will be great.
You're so
This
full
one?
of it.
I'm kidding.
you
I'm just
serious?
trying to get. No, I'm not. I'm just trying to get a reaction out of Michael. So, he's
So
just
Michael,
like, whatever.
I can edit. Just letting you know if you need
Yeah.
another host.
Yeah, we might need to cut
Yeah.
a Scream hater loose. Unbelievable.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Unbelievable.
Well, we're going to get into Scream here in just a little bit. But first, let's talk Sinners for a minute. 16 Academy Award nominations. The former record was 14 nominations, and that was from All About Eve in 1950, Titanic in 97, and La La Land in 2016. This thing is amazing. Horror films don't get nominated very often, but to run up the score like this, absolutely incredible. Pretty much every category you can be nominated for, it was nominated for.
Yeah, and I think it deserves to win a lot of them, but specifically if it doesn't win Best Original Song, I will lose my mind because it needs to redeem itself from last year, where it chose the worst song of all time.
What was
to
the
win.
song last year?
Amelia Perez. From Amelia Perez.
I will say I'm very sorry, but I disagree with you because
What?
Because It's gonna be golden. Yes. K-pop is better. I'm sorry. K-pop Demon Hunters. It actually
Ugh.
inspired one of my work in progress that I got signed for since I've seen you guys. And
Ooh.
so K-pop Demon Hunters is incredible, and I snub my nose at it at first when someone's like, "You actually will really like it." I'm like, "I don't know," and then I'm obsessed, and I went to the
It's
theater and saw the sing along and everything, and I cry every time I watch it. It's
it's
amazing.
really good. No, it's a really good movie. I hope that one definitely wins Best Animated. Like, there's no excuse for that not to
Hmm.
win. But yeah, there's so many categories that I'm hoping Sinners takes it, because one, just having horror win at the
Yes.
Oscars, that's awesome in and of itself. But it's also a very deserving movie.
Mhm.
It's easily snuck into my top 20 just movies of all time, not even counting horror. Like, I loved Sinners, so I think it deserves to take home some
How do you
hardware.
even have that? I don't even know if I could do that. Like, do you do it per genre? Or do you have 20 like in just all different genres? How do you
Yeah,
compare
just
them
all
to each other?
different.
Is it
It's tough.
rewatchability? Is it just if it's really good? I don't know, man. That
It's
would be
just
way
like
too hard for me.
it's a lot of just what it makes if it makes me feel like what it makes me feel, and if I get like
Hmm.
that special feeling from it, then
Yeah.
it yeah, it's all about the vibes.
It's all about the vibes, which, Scream definitely has.
Let's dive into Scream real quick, give you just the facts. Directed by Wes Craven, obviously written by Kevin Williamson, was released December 20th of 96, 111 minutes long with a rating of R. They filmed this in Northern California, including the towns of Santa Rosa, Healdsburg, and Glen Allen, also Tamales. All-star cast: Matthew Lillard, Liev Schreiber, Drew Barrymore, Courtney Cox, Nev Campbell, Rose McGowan, Skeet Ulrich, Henry Winkler. The Fonz is in this. David Arquette, Roger Jackson is the voice. Linda Blair has an uncredited appearance as a reporter, and Wes Craven is uncredited as Fred the janitor, which is
Yeah.
great. It was made for $14 million. It made $173 million at the box office, and the tagline: "Someone has taken their love of scary movies one step too far. Solving this mystery is going to be murder." So
That holds
that
up, man. That's a good tagline.
Yeah.
it is. It really
And
is.
also, what a great festive Christmas movie to go see with your family that year. I wish I would have,
Dude,
but
I
I was
know.
too
I wish I
young.
would have been. I would have been of age to do that,
Yeah,
but that would have been so cool.
I love horror movies that come out around Christmas. It's great. I will go see them.
Yeah, I'm
absolutely.
a I'm a fan. I love when a Nosferatu came out on Christmas a couple years ago. I abandoned my family for Christmas night to go to the cinema, and it was worth it.
Mhm.
It was beautiful.
Nice. Nice. Well, quick summary, and then I'm just going to kick back and let Michael take this because so the movie
Brave.
follows a group of high school friends in the small town of Woodsboro who are stalked by a masked killer known as Ghostface, whose murders are inspired by the rules of classic horror movies. As the body count rises, the film blends slasher thrills with all kinds of great humor, and they turn every cliche into a clue and makes everybody a suspect. So here we go. It's Scream from 96.
All right, let's rock and roll. So we begin on a night in Woodsboro, California, and we meet Casey Becker, played by the extremely famous Drew Barrymore. And she's just getting ready for a night home alone, watching some scary movies and popping some popcorn. She has Jiffy Pop, which I always wanted as a kid, but my parents wouldn't let me because apparently it was too expensive. Whatever. So she gets a phone
Lame.
call. I know, so lame. It looks so cool, so much fun. She
Have
receives
you used it?
I
Have
have
you had it
since,
now?
yes,
Okay, just making
yes.
sure. Okay, here we
The
go.
magic in my life has been completed, but as a kid, not so much.
Yes, I'm sorry.
But you know what? We're gonna get through it. She gets a phone call from a kind of like at first charming, deep, sexy voiced individual, and they're doing a little flirtation, asking about scary movies, talking about each other's favorites and least favorites. When out of nowhere, it turns very sadistic when he asks her, "Want to know your name?" And she's like, "Why do you want to know my name so much?" "Because I want to know who I'm looking at." Boom, chills right off the bat. opening sequence,
What did
easily
you
one of the
say?
best in cinemas. What'd you say? Why do you want to know my name so bad?
I
So
want to
good.
know I want to. Wait, what did you say? Oh, I want to know who I'm talking to. Yeah, that's it. That's what I
Yeah,
meant.
it's so good. And so then she's all of a sudden mood switched. It's scary now. And she discovers when she picks up the phone again that he wants to play a game, a horror movie trivia game. And the stakes are upped when she notices that her boyfriend is tied up out on the porch.
Steve.
So Steve, the boyfriend, the football player, and the question that ultimately proves fatal is about the killer in Friday the 13th. Because if you are new to the genre, you'd probably just assume, hey, it's Jason, which she says. But if you're a fan of Friday the 13th, you know the first movie, Pamela Voorhees was the killer. So she gets it wrong, and we get this.
The opening kill.
The opening kill is Steve, the boyfriend, and this is actually a pretty edited kill. Originally, it shows his guts fall out, but the MPAA was just like, well, we can't see the guts moving, so they were forced to cut it. So the end kill, little less graphic, but still effective, and it still looks pretty darn good. I think the effects are fantastic. So I'm going to go ahead and still give it a butcher knife. What about you?
Yeah, I'll give it a butcher knife kill too.
Butcher knife is definitely what I would pick.
Hell yeah. No, it's a great little kill. And so now all of a sudden things are extra crazy. She's freaking out, trying to get out of the house. There's a fire going because the Jiffy Pop was left unattended. So now we're dealing with that.
Never leave it
she ends up
unattended.
never. You have to keep your eyes
Never.
on that.
And you can't grab it with. She did grab it with the mitts, which I thought was so cool. In that moment, she still didn't grab her hand, because you cannot touch that fucking thing with your hands. And I did get Jiffy like a month ago and did this because I want to rewatch my. I hadn't done it, and my husband was like, "I've never been able to get it to pop all of it," and I'm like, "Come on, let's do this." And then I did it, and it was beautiful. It was really good. It was nice and nostalgic.
Love Jiffy Pop now. But yeah, now it's burning. So fire in the house. She's manages to get outside when Ghostface ultimately, with the little cat and mouse, catches up to her and starts to stab her just as her parents are pulling into the driveway. And I think this is the saddest part about this opening is the parents get inside, notice the smoke, they're scared, they pick up the phone, and their daughter is on the other end, and they hear her meeting her demise. I just think that adds so much creepiness and uneasiness to this kill. And when she looks out, the mom leaves the front door, she notices her daughter strung up in the tree. So kill number 2.
Her parents are walking up to the front door and she's trying to yell for them, but she's got the wind knocked out of her and can't make any noise. And then that's the end of her. Yeah.
Yeah. So rest in peace.
I'm so frustrated though, because every time I rewatch this, and I understand they want you to have this emotional connection with this first kill, well, not first kill, but you know what I mean? First, you think Drew Barrymore's going to live when you first watch it, because if you don't know the movie, you assume that, and she didn't actually want the role of Sydney. She said she wanted to be the first, big victim of the film, because yes, Steve is killed, but he's not really we don't know him. We know her in a 10, 15-minute scene there, but she runs. She does so well. She gets outside. She runs. She crouches. She runs. And then he gets her. But she stops when she sees the car. Why does she stop? Why does she stop? She runs and then she stops. He hasn't stabbed her yet. And I'm like, you could have got there, but then we wouldn't have a movie. Yeah. I know. But other than that, she made pretty good choices, which you don't usually always get with the first kill. So
she's not dumb. That is for sure.
No.
And the following day, the news media has now fully descended on the town with the police investigation beginning. Meanwhile, Sydney, she is struggling with the impending 1-year anniversary of her mother's murder by Cotton Weary. And her boyfriend, who is played by Skeet Ulrich, his name is Billy Loomis, he's not very supportive of that. He's pretty whiny, always trying to get in her pants, and she's like, no, I'm going through some stuff, and not very supportive on that front. He's always like, "Come on, man!" Like,
Well,
So
Michael,
there's this.
I'm kind of glad you just went over the whole scene of him coming in her window the same night that Casey Becker died, because I fucking hate that part. And when I edit it, because I have my own edits of movies, I don't edit that part at all. I mean,
Well,
I fast forward through that shit. I don't.
I
I
will
just
say
hate it. I hate
that
it.
scene where he climbs in through the window
Yeah.
in her bedroom. The thing about that scene I love is the version of "Don't Fear the Reaper" by Gus Black that they're playing in the background. It's a very acoustic, eerie version of it, which fits perfectly for that scene. But yeah,
And see, I didn't even recognize the song because it's so different and haunting.
It's so
I'll have to
different.
listen to it again. That's awesome.
Yes.
Thank you for
Yeah.
mentioning that.
Yeah.
No, it's really good. But that whole scene, not my favorite. I just, it doesn't really work for me. But whatever. We do learn that Sydney's dad's going to be leaving town, so that's a little bit of helpful information that we get from that.
Yeah,
Yes.
And of course her horrible PJs that no girl ever in her teens wears. And I love, if you just make a collage of all the girls who wear like what they wear in these movies to bed. I'm sorry to crack any minds, shatter any minds, but we all look like hobbits before bed. We wear pants and hoodies and sweats. We don't wear these tight little cute matching pajamas. It just doesn't happen. I'm sorry. And we don't wear like stuff from like the Victorian period of like what is that sheet she's wearing? Like the second night when she's at her friend's house, when she's at Tatum's, it looks more real. Like, but they also are, she's just wearing a t-shirt. I'm like, you don't wear that around your, it's just, it's better. But the first night, I hate her nightgown. It's so gross.
It's not
but
good.
You also do have to mention that scene though, because it has one of the best lines of the movie. Psycho was on TV and it made me think of you. I mean,
that is hot. That's a hot.
That's hot.
Line.
I'd be like, well, thank you. Put the hair behind the ear.
Ooh, golly. Appreciate
but
that,
yes,
Billy.
She gets to school, and like you said, there's all these reporters there and all that. So after Sydney goes into class, she's in a class that she shared with Casey Becker, and she gets called into the principal's office. And while she's on her way there, the principal is talking to, I believe this is when we find Deputy Dewey for the first time. He's in there with the principal. And this principal is great. Like, he really is. Like, I feel like all of these people that end up dying, like, we get these like characters, and we do, even though we don't know them very well, we get these little bits of them when they're alone that are really fun. So she's the daughter of Maureen Prescott, and that's when she comes in. And then there's this super creepy moment with the principal where he's like putting his hand on her, and I can tell he doesn't want anything from her, but he's just weird about it. He's like, it's okay, it's fine, Sydney. And then, they find out her dad's away, and then also they reiterate the whole, connection between her and, that her mother just died. And then now we cut to the fountain
where we meet all her little friends. We've got Billy, Tatum, Randy, and Stu. And Tatum and Stu are dating, and then obviously Billy and Sydney are dating as well, and then Randy's just their third wheel. But they're a lot of fun. They are some of them are a little bit more scared of the current situation. Others are just making light of it, cracking some jokes. So you get the different dynamics within the friend group. And
like it's not Noxzema commercial. Seriously.
Kind of, yeah.
I mean, like the way they sit around this fountain, it's like, this isn't staged. This isn't a movie. Like it was really comical to me when every time I rewatch it, I'm just like, this is really funny. So they're at the fountain and they're talking about, everything. And then so we cut to Sydney gets off of the school bus and she waves by and she's there and she gets a call from Tatum, and Tatum says, I'll be there later to pick you up, because she doesn't want her to be alone. So Sydney's just we get to know her character a little more. She's kind of wandering around the house, her poor big mansion, poor her and her mother. But she just can't get away from the fact that, she turns on the TV and we have news coverage. Each channel has new news coverage about her mother, who was killed a year ago. I believe like we're 1 or 2 days away from it at this point. I think but it's very close. And she's, getting her bag ready. And of course, she's like every normal teenager where she just walks around her house in the quiet. She doesn't turn on music. She doesn't turn on the TV most of the time. She doesn't read or do anything else or make any food. She just kind of just sits a lot, which is, sorry, that's real weird. So she's laying on the couch. She ends up falling asleep on the couch and she gets a call. And it's Tatum. And it's about 7:30, I think the clock says. And she says to her, well, Casey and Steve didn't get sliced and diced until after 10. Oh, that's comforting, So she hangs up the phone. And maybe within like 1 or 2 minutes later, the phone rings again. And she says, Tatum, just get in the car. This isn't, and then it's this nice, very similar to what Michael described with Drew Barrymore, where, we get these. So she assumes, though, who it is immediately. She doesn't start to flirt with them like Casey did. She's just like, all right, Randy, what are you doing? It's you, Randy. And then she just kind of hangs up on him. He calls back again. And she's like, I'm not Randy. He says, I'm not Randy. And it's just kind of this moment. It's a beautiful scene. It's close up. It's just half of it's Neve Campbell's face with the phone. And you can see that she is finally understanding, holy shit, I'm talking to the killer.
Right.
And she starts kind of doing what we don't think of. This is the first kind of real meta we see in the movie. And it just continues to go crazy after that, where it's just, it's some big breasted girl who should be going up out the front door and she's going up the stairs, so it's just this whole back and forth. And then one of my favorite parts of this, so they go back and forth a little bit. I'm not going to go every line, but I do know every line. But she goes to the door and he's ringing the doorbell and she's like, I'm outside. She's like, whatever. So she goes onto the porch and she starts picking her nose. It's great. And she's like, can you see me? Yeah. What am I doing? What am I doing? And then she's all like, yeah, I'm going to take charge again. So she's all like confident. She starts to go back into the house and he's like, you hang up on me and you'll die just like your mother. Okay, now we just went to another level. The beautiful soundtrack is here. We get some very eerie feelings. And we're like, okay, she's inside though. Cool. She locked the door. Everything's cool. But that ominous closet that when she got home, they showed with really, really scary music 2 times? Surprise, surprise. If you didn't notice it, that's where Ghostface is. They go back and forth. It's a lot of close calls. She needs him in the crotch. And wait, does she go out the front door now? Because apparently she had time to put the chain on, which we never really see her do. I don't remember her doing it. So she goes up the stairs. And luckily she has this really cool closet door situation where she's able to kind of like nudge that. And she uses TT, she types 911 instead. Yeah. And then like 5 seconds later, after he stops trying to get in, Billy's at her window. And a cell phone falls out of his pocket. Uh-oh. So, Sydney's scared. She runs down the stairs and she opens the door. And Michael, who does she see?
Ghostface. But it's not actually Ghostface. It's just cute little Deputy Dewey holding up the Ghostface mask for some reason. I don't know what he's doing with it, but it's just this fun little, he starts screaming, ah! It's a great little gotcha moment.
That's really good. That was the perfect inflection of that scene.
I love that little
scream.
I love that little moment. It's fun. For the life of me can't figure out why he's holding the mask like that, but whatever. It's it's Deputy Dewey. He does things a little bit differently.
Played by David Arquette, by the way.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. He's so good
in that
role.
Who was also on Friends early on, and it not a love interest of Monica, who was played by
Courtney Cox.
Courtney Cox,
which is in Scream, but they actually acted in a couple episodes, or I think it was just 1 or 2 episodes of Phoebe Stalker's character is David Arquette in an early episode of Friends.
Right.
But they're adorable. I love them.
Then, so obviously with Billy showing up with the cell phone in his pocket, which this is the 90s, cell phones not everybody had them, just walking around. So it is definitely suspicious that he has one. So he is actually ends up getting arrested on the spot. And outside of the police station is where Sydney and Courtney Cox's character, Gail Weathers, kind of have a little bit of a face-off. And Sydney, badass that she is, just clocks Gail right in the face. And Tatum, of course, loves it. Yeah, Bam,
She did.
bitch went down.
Super bitch.
Tatum is so good in this role where she's just like the hype woman for Sydney. I love
Oh
it.
yeah.
It's great. So we have Tatum now is having Sydney sleep there with her, so she's more safe, obviously, after those close calls. And they actually end up getting another call from the killer, and they are able to trace this call to Neil Prescott's phone. So Sydney's father, they are not able to locate him though. So now we've got our first little maybe hint as to who the killer could be.
Right.
May I
So-
mention something before we get too far away from it?
Sure.
Yes.
We were just talking about Courtney Cox and David Arquette, and one of the parts, Michael, you forgot was their meet cute. Can you talk about that just for a second before at the school?
Oh,
'Cause
yes.
is that you have to knock a few more out for for it to be a killer and all. Just their whole cuteness there. Talk about that because it's
It
one of
is
your
really
favorite
cute.
movies, and
It
it's a really
is.
good scene.
So we do have this moment where, Dewey ends up meeting Gale, and they're kind of like, he's, for as awkward as he is, he's actually being kind of smooth with her. And they're talking about how, like, her dynamic, not dynamic, but her demographic is young men in this certain age bracket, and he just misses it. So he's like,
I was 24 for a whole year.
I was 24 for a whole year. And you can just tell instantly they've got nothing but chemistry. It's just, it's
adorable.
palpable how much chemistry that these two have. So no surprise that they ended up marrying in real life.
Yes.
But no, it's a great little introduction scene between them that is really cute. Like, it's a really sweet, genuine moment in the middle of this slasher film. So.
And I mentioned that also because this came out, you said 97?
96.
96. So I think I saw it when I was 13 though. So I would have seen it on VHS or maybe a DVD. I don't remember which one it would have been. The main one at the video store. But I love Sydney. This movie had some of my heroes. Like growing up, I looked up to them. I looked up to Sydney for her strength and the trauma she went through because I went through trauma. But I also looked up to Gale Weathers because she was so tenacious and so driven, and she just makes fun of knock off a few more and he'll be a serial killer. I could be covering the Sharon Stone stalker, but I'm here. She's just so she's so confident in herself and yet insecure, but she's so driven to do this, and she's so fascinated by murder. And I am too. So like growing up, I was like, hey, there's someone kind of like me. Like she likes murder like me. So there are so many strong characters that a male wrote and that in different age brackets too in this. And I love that.
Right.
And that was our first part we get to see her. So I really appreciated that about her.
Right.
And it was just a rare moment of like the walls kind of, her persona being down. And she is kind of just real with Dewey, which you don't always see with Gale. She's a very interesting character. And you can tell, like you said, very insecure, but also is able to just project nothing but confidence. So it's really cool dynamic with her as well.
Right. So we end up back at school the next day. It's not a good day for her at school after what happened the night before. Somebody runs down the hallway in Ghostface costume, and it's freaking her out, obviously. School ends up getting canceled because of these murders that are happening.
We have such a good, moment with the character of the janitor, though, played by Wes Craven, because he hears some stuff. He goes out to the hall. He's just like, oh, and you just see this character in this Freddy Krueger sweater. The fedora, it's a great little getup.
It was cool.
I love that cameo. It's one of my favorites. And there's such a good misdirection in this kill because he opens the closet and you're like, oh, the killer's in there. Nope, not in there. So as soon as your guard goes down, the killer swoops in from around the door and ends up taking out the principal. But I love that misdirection. It's one of my favorites in film.
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely.
So we have a house party that's going to happen here.
At the one and only Stu Mocker's house.
That's right. Among the guests are Sydney and Tatum. And of course, Billy will be there, and Randy. And
After he gets off from his shift at the video store.
At the video, yeah, right. And Deputy Dewey and reporter Gail Weathers, they're all there too, hoping to catch the killer in the act.
So yeah, we have the party going on. Billy is actually ends up being let out of jail. They don't have enough evidence to hold him. So yes, he is going to be at the party as well. And we have this scene after everyone's excited about getting out where, and this is honestly my only thing I don't like about the movie, is we have this shot of Ghostface just kind of like meandering around town in broad daylight. You see him like in a reflection in a store when Sydney and Tatum are going to get some supplies. You see him creeping in some bushes, and I don't really understand why the killer would be doing that, but whatever. I'm willing to look past it for this movie. But we end up everyone now converging at the Mocker house, which is beautiful. I love this house. I want to visit it so badly. It's the perfect horror party movie house, in my opinion. And everyone shows up. They're all having a great time. Courtney Cox's character, Gail Weathers, shows up and ends up planting a camera, which is sketchy at best, to film high
He
schoolers.
just like hits it like one time when she's leaving the van. He just like do. He hands it to her, and I'm like, wait, no, that's not how electronics work. Yeah, she plants the camera.
Plants the camera. Now she's gonna just watch these teens party in her news van with her cameraman. He's there as well, and we have this great moment with Randy where he really breaks down the rules of horror movies. They're watching Halloween, and he's given his spiel of you can't drink, you can't have sex, to which everyone boos him. You can never say I'll be right back, because
you're
not going to be back. You won't be back.
Right.
And so then Stu, the silly goose that he is, he's just like, I'm going to go get a beer. You want one? I'll be right back. And the crowd went wild. Oh
my God. And you find out why Jamie Lee Curtis didn't show her tits earlier. She didn't show her tits till she went legit. One of the best lines of the movie.
Yep.
It has such good cadence. Like, as a writer, I just love that. Like, that he threw that in. And it's a very, like, it's part of that same scene. Like, it's right after it. Like, right after they cheer. Like he's saying, he's sitting there with Sydney, and they're just looking at the back of these VHSs. And I just love that. There's such like a purity to that. Just looking at this and talking about Jamie Lee Curtis, and then it goes from there. But it's such a small little scene, but since I've seen it so many times, I've noticed it and I really enjoy it.
It is a great little moment of dialogue, I think, as well. It rolls off the tongue. Still, she went legit. So then Randy ends up getting a phone call, and that phone call is letting everybody know that the principal's body has been found, and it was like strung up on like the field goal post or something.
Yep. On the goalposts.
Let's go down.
And they get way too excited about this. They're just like, fuck yeah! Drinking and driving. Let's hop in our cars. And they go flying down the road. They end up almost killing poor Dewey and Gail, who are just kind of walking around the property at this moment because they heard that.
It also gives them their first guess.
It does. They heard that an abandoned vehicle had been spotted, so they went to check it out. Almost get ran over. They end up rolling over, totally kissing, adorable. And the abandoned vehicle, we learn, is Sydney's dad's, Neil's. So again, boo, what's going on? Tatum ends up going to the garage to grab some beer, and she gets her arms full, is about to head back inside when she is met by Ghostface, just standing there ominously. And she at first thinks it's kind of like, she's kind of having fun with this. She's like, oh no, don't kill me, Mr. Ghostface. I want to be in the sequel, which is the first time he's actually called Ghostface on screen, is this little moment. And we get like one of the best kills in the movie. They have this fight where she's hitting him with the refrigerator door. She's throwing beer bottles at his face, flipping him over onto the stairs, and she almost makes her escape through a little doggy door on the garage door. When Ghostface hits the button, she's stuck, lifts her up, and just kind of ends up crushing her head at the top of the garage door, which is gnarly. Very good kill. Yeah, so Tatum is no more.
No.
She
she's not.
puts up a good fight though.
She does.
She
Like-
throws beer bottles at him. She, throws the fridge, like pops it open right in front of him. And I don't know. Who do you think did that kill?
Ugh, that's a tough one. It's probably, I would just assume Stu, just because I think Stu would want to kill his girlfriend. He's that diabolical, but that would be my guess. Gail and Dewey end up finding the abandoned car and discover that it is Neil Prescott's car. So boom, boom, boom. He was the traced call. Now his car is abandoned right by the house. Things aren't looking good for Neil Prescott.
Right.
Especially with the eve of his wife's rape and murder coming up. So it would make sense if he was to have just snapped.
So they make their way back to the party now, and there's still some party goers there. They didn't all run off to the football field. But so Billy and Sydney decide it's time to reconcile and go have sex. So she gives it up. She gives up her virginity to Billy. And then moments later, she's sitting there on the bed talking to Billy, and she's still working things through her mind. Still kind of suspicious of him. And
while using a brush.
Yes.
A lot of brushing going on in just some rando's room. I'm sorry, but that's weird.
And they're just very leading questions trying to get him to trip himself up. And he finally goes, "What the fuck do I have to do to convince you I'm not a killer?" And she's looking at him and her eyes get really wide. And now we have Ghostface standing behind Billy, and he seemingly stabs him, but does he? That's the question to ask here. So Sydney ends up escaping, and she goes to seek help from Gail's cameraman, Kenny, who gets killed right in front of her very eyes for kill number 5. Poor Kenny.
This is like a great kill, though, because there's a delay in the video feed. So there's about a 30-second delay. So he's like watching it and like, oh, like, she's like, there's someone going to kill. And so like he's still thinking he has some time. But no, because of that delay, Ghostface is already there and does give him a gnarly little throat slash.
Yes.
So yeah, Kenny is no more.
Nope.
She attempts to escape in the van, and poor Kenny's body was stashed on the roof of the van, so he just kind of falls into the windshield, and his blood's just all pouring out all over it.
So he was clearly put on top of the van because he comes over the windshield. How the hell did they get him up there? He is not a small man, and Ghostface is not, not that powerful as far as, I mean, I'm trying to figure out, and why would you put him on top of the van? I mean, anyway.
So we can have this moment, Brian.
Well, yes, but it makes no sense.
It's great because he's slumped over the window. She's trying to do the windshield wipers to clear everything, and it's just making it more messy. And the best part is she's like, "I'm sorry, Kenny," and she just abruptly turns, and his poor corpse just plops off onto the road, and she leaves him behind.
So she's driving away, and Sydney has been trying to escape Ghostface since Billy supposedly got stabbed in the house. So now she is outside and she's waving. And since, Gail just saw a dead body go through her, basically through her the front of her car, she freaked out and she swerves. Luckily, doesn't kill the final girl and crashes. And then now we have one of the best thrilling scenes of it, which is Sydney coming up to the Jeep. I believe it is a Jeep, but it's a car. And she gets in it to hopefully get away, but the keys aren't in the car. Uh-oh.
Mm-hmm. So who has the car keys? Oh, a little guy named Ghostface has the car keys, and he's playing this fun little game where he's unlocking it. She locks it. He's like, he knocks on the window and like showcases, hey, I've got the keys now. And then he dips out from view, and she's like, oh shit, where is he? So she's trying to like see him, can't though. And then we, the audience, notice that the back of the Jeep opens up.
That's a good part.
It's so good, and she is actually able to escape Ghostface's clutches here. He is not successful with Sydney because she is one hell of a fighter. But she gets out, and we now meet Stu and Randy running
Yes.
up to each other, running up to Sydney as she's trying to get back into the house, and she ends up seeing Dewey in the doorway with a knife in his back, falls to the ground. Ghostface comes out and takes the knife out of his back.
Yes.
Yep.
That is
Okay.
correct.
So now Sydney is in the house. She shuts the door, locks out Randy and Stu because they're trying to convince her, like, no, I'm not the killer. He's the killer. I'm like, please let me in. And she's like, fuck you both, and slams the door. Love
Yeah.
that moment.
Yeah, love it. Yes.
So then now we have Billy. He seems to have made a miraculous recovery. He comes falling dramatically down the stairs with blood all over him.
So right after Billy is given the gun from Sydney, because she's like, oh my gosh, she's still alive. Great. He opens the door and he lets Randy in. And then they're kind of going back and forth with that. But then Randy says, Stu has gone mad. And Billy holds up the gun and says, we all go mad a little sometimes. And then Sydney's shocked, and Billy, he licks his blood, and we're like, it's corn syrup. And then she finds Stu revealing the voice box. And hello, Sydney. And that's just one of the best parts too, is that, wait, we probably thought it was Billy the whole time, but we now know it was also Stu. And this is also probably one of the first times we get two killers.
Yep. We have the two killer duo. And yeah, him just walking into front. Hello, Sydney. Surprised. And it's, yeah, what a incredible reveal. This is, I know it's the first movie, but I think Billy and Stu are the two best ghost faces in the entire franchise. I love them as characters and as the killers. I think they work so well together, especially with the kind of back and forth they're about to have. Like, it's just so unhinged and so much fun when they're kind of explaining everything. They're doing their bad guy monologue to Sydney. And they're explaining, like, yeah, what's your motive? And so they're telling her kind of the story. It reals they were the ones who killed and raped her mom almost a year ago to the date. And Billy his reason is because Sydney's mom was actually sleeping with his dad, causing his family to fall apart. So he blamed
To leave, yeah.
Yeah, so he blames all of that on Sydney and is now getting his revenge, which is pretty excessive, to say the least.
Pretty fucked. Yeah. And
Yeah.
I do like that. I like that they have this kind of back and forth, like you said, and then it has this moment when when your mother was fucking my father, and it's why my mother left, and it's just this, we see Sydney's face and we see how much this has hurt Billy as well. And it's just this
Right.
really kind of heartbreaking part, because you have Stu who lightens everything up even right now, but that's like a really interesting moment and exchange between those two characters.
And I will say that before the reveal, Sydney gives out, the most common line that is ever in a horror movie, and that is, why are you doing this? So we did get that. We had that in last week's movie too, and now we have it this week as well. Why are you doing this?
I think she's like, why? She's like, that's kind of weird. Yeah, 'cause she's like hitting the counters when she says it. She's like, why? Because she just cannot believe that this is happening.
And this is where things really go off the rails for old Billy and Stu, because they now have to frame it that they were not the killers. They are framing everything on Neil Prescott. They now reveal that they have him all tied up, and part of their plan now has to look like they were attacked and stabbed. So they take turns stabbing each other. They kind of have a little bit too much. Yeah. All right. Now we're going to stab each other. It's going to be great. They have a little bit too much gusto. At least Billy does when he stabs Stu, because he goes too deep and Stu instantly starts losing too much blood and starts feeling a little woozy here. And he's just
peer pressure.
It's peer pressure. And
that's his motive. We know his motive too. So in the first movie franchise, we actually had two motives in the scene.
We get two motives.
And man, you cut me too deep. He's like, oh, Dad, it's so bad. So good. He's so good with that part. It's great.
So
but seriously,
good.
Can we talk about his dad for a second? Her dad? Did no one go into that one closet the entire party? Like, when did he go in there? Everyone's been around all night. I'm just very curious on that too. Like we talked about with the body on top, like how did one Ghostface get big old cameraman Kenny on top of the car? But I think that in some scenes there are two Ghostface there, but we don't see the other one, because later it's like, okay, we reveal there's two killers. That really means though that sometimes there could have been two of them at the same time present. So maybe they both lifted him and then one of them just dashed away to get to the next victim. We don't know if any of these really overlap, because all of this happens in like one night. This big party does, at least.
Yeah.
So we don't exactly know that maybe one of these is happening at a different time. Like it's all like kind of interpretive in that way.
Yeah. I think specifically the first kill, they were both there with
Agreed.
Yeah, because there's too much going on where they're ringing the doorbell over here and they're showing up over here. So I think both of them were definitely at least working in tandem for the opening kill for sure.
Maybe, but they do make a really big point to say, Tatum says outside the fountain that he was with me last night.
True.
To like throw us off that it's not Stu, but that could have been like maybe he came at later. It's not like they were killed that late,
because Billy technically was with Sydney that night too.
But he was out driving around. That's a great
driving
photo.
around.
I was watching Psycho and then I was driving around and just ended up in my car. No, what's wrong with that? That's not abnormal. Or me twisted around the police chair staring at Sydney all creepy. I didn't do it. Telling your lawyer that, and the lawyer's looking at him like, I don't know about this guy. Maybe I shouldn't be defending him.
Billy, you look awfully suspicious sport.
So we have her dad is now, he's been on the floor and they're telling us how they're going to frame Dad for the murders,
which is a good plan. Like it would make sense for him to snap with everything going on, especially with just how hard the media coverage has been. It would make sense. But so yes, we have Gale now showing up, which causes some distraction, which allows Sydney to incapacitate Billy and ends up, unfortunately, killing Stu, maybe, by dropping a television set on his head. He does seem to get electrocuted and everything, but I'm still holding out hope that my boy is not dead.
I mean, in Home Alone, if it can happen in Home Alone 2 and he walks away from it, and that's a lot more electricity going through real quick. And he just walked away. I know. People can fight me on this all they want about Home Alone. I'm like, I think they could have survived for the movie. I don't think they would have survived the after. Like, I think they would have maybe had a couple concussions and died. That would have been funny.
Right.
But no, I do know. Actually, with one of my favorite Christmas horror movies, they try the Home Alone thing in that movie. And it's just horrific to see like how much impact the paint can would actually have on your face and how much they make it look all cute and Disney-like in Home Alone.
Better watch out.
Yup.
I
love that movie so much. I just watched it again this past year and I was like, this is so good.
Stu is now dead, unfortunately, maybe. Billy then ends up nearly stabbing Sydney, but ends up getting shot by Gale. And Randy now has to chime in and be like, careful. Remember, horror killers always come back for one final scare. And Billy does. He tries to sit up, grab at him, but Sydney looks at him, not in my movie, and shoots him right in the head, killing him. So Billy is now a goner.
I do
Isn't
love
it great?
the references to all of the rules of horror films and mentioning
Yeah.
specific horror films and everything else. They did a nice job with that in this movie.
Well, it's one of the reasons why it's so like beloved. Like this is like the first kind of movie to do that. Like nowadays, like every movie does it. It's not uncommon at all. But when this first came out, like this was not a common thing at all. So it was really a first of its kind.
It's the first meta slasher. It really is.
Yeah. And
I can't think of one before this that actually did this as a full thing through the whole movie. And let me tell you, doing my own version of it for my upcoming book is very difficult because you want to be meta, but people don't want to read as long of a dialogue or a monologue as the two killers at the end. But I do
right.
try to put in some of these meta things into written form. So I am curious to know, especially Michael, with being this is my love letter to Kevin Williamson and the franchise and just meta slashers. Like, so I do hope you enjoy it.
Oh, I cannot wait. I love reading slashers. It's one of my favorite horror genres to read. So I can't wait. And if it's a love letter to Kevin Williams' script, like count me all the way in.
I'm curious to know how many references you'll get in there because there are so
Ooh.
many Easter eggs in there. Oh my gosh, so many scenes.
I
It's
have to
great.
keep like a little
A little
checklist.
journal. Oh, maybe I'll make a bookmark of that for people who pre-order something.
Boom. There you go.
Okay.
Love that.
I'm gonna show.
So yeah, Billy dead. Dawn breaks and Neil is rescued, and we end up also that Dewey survived. He is not dead from the stab attack that kind of appears he
Yay.
was. Yay, we see him getting taken away by an ambulance, and Gail.
Definitely looks great though.
He does look good.
It's like, hey.
How's it going? And Gail, always the professional, provides an impromptu news report about the night's events as we go to credits. So Gail, always ready.
Yeah, but here's the thing. There is no way a real reporter would have been allowed to get that close. She walks by all the cops with the cameraman, walks up to the front gate. It looks like she's going in the damn house. And to me, it was like, wait a minute. And no one's even looking at her to stop her. You know?
They're panning out from the house at sunrise, and she's over to the left, and she finds a cameraman on site. She knows what happened. She's been doing this, and she's just kind of like backing away while she's like pointing at the house. That's how I remembered it. That she's not going in again.
She's getting too close to the crime scene is what I'm saying, that a reporter should be allowed to. She's going past the police and she's going towards the house, like she's going into the house. Not that she did go in, but I'm just saying I'm watching it as it pans out, and there's no way they would let a reporter get that close.
That's Gail goddamn Weathers.
Yeah, I know who it is.
She owns that city.
and Woodsboro is a very small town, and like a bunch of people were just slaughtered. Maybe they didn't put up crime scene tape. They don't care as much about that in the moment as they do about figuring out what the hell just unfolded with the most people killed in this town. Like the biggest thing that happened in Woodsboro before this was one rape and murder. And I'm not saying that's minimized, but like over the course of 3 days, they don't know what they're doing. They're behind on everything. Their deputy is Dewey. I'm sorry, but that's their deputy. Can you imagine they're like street cops? They probably can't even point the gun in the right direction. I mean, I don't know.
True. I don't think they're particularly equipped for this situation, so.
No. But bring it, Brian. What else you got? What other beef you got? I'll defend.
So many.
Jab. Let's do it.
All right, final kill count. 7. Decent.
Not bad.
Yeah. Who was your favorite character?
Oh, I have to go with Stu. Stu is I love him so much. I know he's the bad guy, not a good human being, but there's just something so charming about anything Matthew Lillard does. I'm the biggest Matthew Lillard stan, so Stu Macher is my favorite character.
Mine was Dewey.
That's a great choice. You can't go wrong.
What about you, Stephanie?
Oh, I'm going to say Randy because I'm just the most like him.
I love Randy.
Just like just how passionate he was about films the entire movie and how much he knew about that. Unfortunately, I will give lots of information about movies to people if they just say they've seen it, not even if they've liked it. I'll be like, oh, did you know that? Blah, 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 and then this happened, and this person. Did you know that that person that was in this movie that came out 20 years ago? They don't care, but they love me enough to nod their head and listen for a second. But I just feel like that's Randy, and
Yeah.
I love him as a person as well. He hasn't really done anything, but he's in a lot of documentaries, and I love hearing him talk about film even now. So it's like he channeled himself into Randy because that's who he is. He's in all these documentaries talking about how much he loves these different horror films and how much he appreciates them and how he loved that he was still able to technically come back for the sequel, which he didn't think he was going to be able to, but they worked it in for him because he really
Yep.
did want to be on the project longer. And I really like that in Jamie Kennedy.
Yeah.
So I think that just because that's me.
Hell yeah.
I was the nerd in high school who worked at the video store. I worked at the video store for 2 or 3 years.
Me too.
I liked the guy that didn't like me. He was in the cool crowd and I wasn't, he had the girlfriend that was like, it was just very similar.
I never was able to work at a video store. That's like my one regret in life.
Oh, it was so much fun.
I bet it was the coolest. Ugh.
I mean, we got to take free movies home to, free rentals home and bring it. I mean,
do you remember like taking the pins out because you got to take it home a couple days before it came out on Tuesday? You're like, yep, so fun. Yep.
So much fun. Yep.
And like stacking, like when we didn't have as many VHSs, we had more DVDs, but we still did have VHSs, and we'd have to you have a certain way, it's waiters at a restaurant, but you see someone in a older, in that time, you would carry something about half of your height of VHSs and take them over. It was before we even had the carts to get them around. But I remember that part, the video store part, we didn't really talk about it in the recap, but it is one of my favorite scenes because it was pretty accurate by how lively it can be, and you have to give recommendations while you're putting away films and stuff, and it's so fun, and fighting over who gets to pick the movie for the day. I love that. So we would all put out different movies and we'd have different picks, and I love it so much.
Favorite kill? Michael, 1, 2, 3, go.
It's Drew Barrymore. It's so good. Just that whole opening is it's perfection. There's never been a better opening scene in a horror movie or just a movie since before. I don't think it's ever going to happen that something is going to eclipse it. So that whole sequence with Drew Barrymore, I think, is perfect.
I second that.
Okay. Yeah. Mine was Tatum, just because I love a good garage door kill.
And you can't go wrong.
We don't see enough of them in horror movies, right?
It really is underutilized. We should get more.
I'm sorry.
So.
It's not. I looked into that kill after because I hate her face during that kill. I hate her face. It's so fake. And she's probably 110 pounds wet, but she's still 110 pounds. That wouldn't have closed. It wouldn't have closed on her. And I hate that I'm 41 and I know that now, and I didn't know that when I watched it. I was the most terrified, but the older I get, the more it bothers me, that kill does, because I'm just like, it wouldn't happen. And then the cat gets out, but she doesn't get out, and she's cool, and they're like, I don't know, it's just all of that. But up until the actual, when she gets stuck in it, I'm still scared for her. I thought he was going to come over and stab her because she was stuck.
Right.
But it's still clever, and it's definitely creative. I'll definitely give it that. Very creative.
Let's see. Favorite scene. For me, it was the final kitchen reveal scene. I thought just a lot of stuff came out, and for me, that was good.
It's going to be the opening for me. But I do want to do the honorable mention because that's the default win for me. Just the whole dialogue with Stu and Billy with their plan kind of falling apart. They're bleeding out in the kitchen. It is so good. And Stu has some of the best lines in the movie in this little moment. I'm getting woozy here. My parents are going to be so mad at me. Peer pressure. It's so good. It's hilarious.
For me, my favorite scene is when Sydney first meets Ghostface. I think that's one of the best in the film. I do love the opening scene. I love all the scenes mentioned, but I think for me, because there's so many close, great shots in that are just Neve Campbell showing her acting ability is just incredible in those scenes. And it's the first time I feel really scared for her. And I like her. I'm getting to know her as a character. And so it's so terrifying, the whole scene. And then just this kind of funny part too that they throw in with the nose and everything. Like, so you get her humor, you get how ballsy she is, and you get how like brave she is and how much she's a fighter. All of
Yep.
that in an afternoon with her being home at this house in the beginning of the film. So they really do give us a lot of her. And it's just such a suspenseful fight with Ghostface that doesn't end in murder. Yay.
Right.
Yeah. All right. How screwed are we? Would you survive this film?
I think I could potentially. Like, I don't want to say 100% I would. So I'm going to go with like a 65% chance I survive it.
Okay. I think for me, it'd be 50-50 for me. I think.
Yeah.
I'm not completely convinced I could get away, but I don't know.
Am I in this situation knowing what I know now? Or am I in the situation as someone who doesn't really know a lot like Randy? Because that matters.
I think you would still have like the knowledge. Like, yeah, you still would have your knowledge, but
I'd
you
say
just have to put it
50-50
to,
still.
yeah.
I'd say 50-50, and this is why. You guys will love the reason though, because it just came to
All
me.
right.
Sydney runs a lot, and in later movies, she is like, you see her fucking running with her stroller and shit. If I have to get away from Ghostface by running, I have a 0 chance of making it. So that's why it's 50-50, because who knows which victim I'd be. Am I one that has a knife and is in the kitchen, or am I the one that has to run down the goddamn road? Because if that's me, I'm dead.
Right. It's all about the specific situation you find yourself
Right.
in with Ghostface. That's why, yeah, I'm like, I'm not going to say I definitely survive, but I have enough wherewithal where I think I'd have a good chance. But again, it would just depend.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sydney's final girl score on a scale of 1 to 10.
10. It's, for me, she's my favorite final girl in film. So she's the like standard I hold them to. So 10 for Sydney.
Okay.
89.
89.
Hell yeah. 89.
That's a 10 for me too.
Look at you, Brian.
I know.
Give her a 10.
Look at him.
I
was
know,
thinking
look at
as soon as
me.
my head cocked to the side. I was like, oh, he said 10. Look at that.
I did. Star grade.
I mean, 5. It's 5 stars. Easy.
Okay. Same, Stephanie?
Same. Yeah.
1.5 for me.
Shut the fuck up, Brian.
Wait. What's his category again? Hold on. Maybe I'm not aware. What is this category? Please tell me what the 5 is again.
The 5 is like the star grade of, the film grade, 1 to 5. I give it a 5. So I actually do give it a 5.
I
So,
figured.
yeah.
Fucking trying to be cute there, Brian.
Yeah.
Well,
See
I
how
just
well
really
that
want to
worked.
know Brian's, like, I really want to know what's one of your biggest gripes, because like you've been pretty much the same on all these like quick lightning round questions as us.
Yeah,
So what's your damage with Scream?
just a few things here and there that I already mentioned. It's nothing. There was not a lot that I could really bitch about on this movie. They got pretty much everything right. And it's just fun, and everything about it just clicks right along. I mean, I can forgive a few things here and there, but yeah, overall it's just solid. It really is.
It really does have like the perfect marriage of humor and genuine scares. Like it is, I would say, overall a horror comedy, but it doesn't use the comedy to like cheap out the genuine scares. Like it still is grounded and scary when it needs to be, but isn't afraid to have those moments of characters being silly or having those fun little one-liners. So I think it's the perfect marriage of horror comedy, and horror comedies is one of my favorite subgenres. So I love it.
Totally.
And I think that's what becomes meta slasher, like, because you have comedies that are like scary movie comedy. That's a comedy. That is a completely comedy that happens to make fun of horror movies. It is not a horror comedy. So meta slashers kind of became the subgenre of horror that really is. It is horror comedies, like Happy Death Day, Totally Killer. Like those are all ones that like we know stuff, or people in the movie know stuff that most people wouldn't know in the movie world with that movie lens you have to watch. Like, because, I actually we randomly mentioned it earlier when we were talking about soundtracks or scores, which was Titanic, and I decided to take a gummy and rewatch it, and I was very angry the whole time at the end. But but then you have like other things that come, like this was a blockbuster. It was one of the first big blockbuster, because like Titanic came out around the same time ish, a couple of years, whatever.
About a year,
But
yeah,
like
year too
yeah,
late, year later, whatever.
it,
Yeah.
it it did very well for being a horror movie that came out around Christmas too. Like that's incredible.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Slasher survival tip. If someone calls you to ask you what your favorite scary movie is, hang up and move. Horror trivia has a 100% fatality rate.
Love it.
Coming up next, we have the scare preview segment. First, shout out to our good friend Courtney from the Jaunty Haunts podcast.
Yes, Courtney. She's on a little bit of a hiatus now between seasons, but she's going to be rearing to go here shortly. So catch up on the podcast wherever you get podcasts. If you love paranormal, demon possession, ghost stories, everything in that vein, this is the podcast for you.
Definitely. You can find it wherever you get your favorite podcasts. And as Michael said, she's getting ready for a new season, but catch up on the old episodes if you missed any of them. Well worth it. Scare preview, and this is the part of the podcast where we share films that are coming out in the near future that we are excited about. What would yours be, Michael?
So this is one where I just saw a trailer for it, and it doesn't, like, I am able to say this doesn't look like it's going to be a great movie, but it does look like something I will personally enjoy. It is a new upcoming slasher movie called Dolly. It was actually shot on super 16 millimeter film, and it's going to be coming to theaters March 6th. It is from, this is a little bit of a red flag, the director of Night Swim, which was not very good. But this looks to be a lot of fun. It's just like a gritty, gross slasher with a killer that looks terrifying. And it's got a little bit of some star power. It's got Sean William Scott. He's going to be in it. And pro wrestler Max the Impaler will be the killer. So it looks dumb and fun. So I'm excited for it. March 6th is Dolly.
All right, mine is a movie that is coming out also in March on the 27th. It is called They Will Kill You, directed by Kirill Sokolov. Key cast, Mayala, also Zazie Beetz, Patricia Arquette, Heather Graham, and Tom Felton. It's about a young woman who takes a housekeeping job in a mysterious New York City high-rise called The Virgil, only to discover that the building is hiding a dark history of disappearances. And, oh yeah, it's actually controlled by a demonic cult. So that will be out on March 27th. Looks really interesting.
That's a good cast.
Yeah, it is a good cast.
Yeah.
Anything coming out that you have your eyes on, Miss Stephanie?
Yes, I am actually very excited for a film called Whistle. It comes out February 6th, so a little earlier than Brian and Michael's picks, but I'm very excited about it. It stars, let me see, Sophie Nellis. She is the star of Yellow Jackets, so that's one of the big people in it. And if you like to talk to me, it's for fans of Talk to Me, and it's a misfit group of unwitting high school students stumble upon a cursed object, an ancient Aztec death whistle. They discover that blowing the whistle and the terrifying sound it emits will summon their future deaths to hunt them down. So they read the script, like they kind of read it wrong in the trailer where they think it's going to cause like a death or something, but it's basically they cause their death if they whistle in it. So maybe, before you use something like and Talk to Me, you should learn a little bit more about it. But it looks really good. The trailer, honestly, like made me jump like 4 times. And in the first like 20 seconds of the trailer, I had my like half up like in my t-shirt kind of like, oh my gosh, like it's very unsettling and thrilling and it looks really fun.
Okay.
I'm excited for that one. I watched that trailer, I think like last week, and it's creepy.
Very cool. Well, Stephanie Rose, thank you so much for hanging out with us and coming back to the podcast. You want to tell us about any of your latest projects a little bit more before we go?
Sure. You can find me at deathbytbrbooks.com, and I'm also on Patreon, and that is where you can kind of support me as an author and my new podcast called Everyday Horror, where I talk to authors and activists and creators about how life has been under fascism right now.
Okay.
So that's a new thing I'm doing, a quick podcast, and I'm coming out with it's like kind of K-pop Demon Hunters meets Manhunt. Very kind of it's a very interesting book. It's a novella with Trueborn Press. I got that, and that's exciting. And I'm working on Small Town Slasher, which is coming out in August, which is now being turned into a novella. That's going to be a fun slasher series. Lots of fun things going on.
Nice. Well, again, thank you so much for hanging out with us.
Thank you for having me.
All right, make sure you subscribe to us. Follow us on all of the socials, Instagram and Facebook. Tell your friends about us. And we're on video TV now too, Michael. People can see us.
Oh, what a treat. Yes, we are on YouTube. Video version there. Also, we have just the audio up as well. So if that's how you want to consume us, have at it. Yes, subscribe, rate, review. It all helps. And if you have a movie recommendation, you can shoot us an email, openingkillpod@gmail.com.
All right. Coming up next week, the movie Heart Eyes, and we will have Megan and Demi from the How Do You Watch This podcast sitting in with us. Always fun to have those two joining us on the podcast. So that is next week. So we will see you then.
Opening Kill is produced by Mystic Cloud Productions and hosted by Brian O'Connor and Michael Duran. New episodes drop every Thursday wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. And don't forget, you can watch the video versions on YouTube. See you next time. If you survive the opening